We are joined right now by Hilary Kennedy. Hilary, welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for having me back.
Just a few minutes until the 4-minute buzz. Mm-hmm. And so we'll be watching for you on that. But you've been following this Netflix subscription situation with the cuties. Now, I was just reading an article where, I don't know, they lost 300,000 subscribers. Is that all they lost in this?
This is pretty crazy. Their cancellations surged by 800%.
That's good.
Yeah, a data analytics firm, it's called Antenna and Yippee Data. They said they have seen such a serious drop in subscribers. They lost 5 times as many subscribers in September, just days after people started protesting online about cuties.
Mm-hmm.
So the September cancellations, they were 8 times of those in August. And Netflix is still standing by the film.
Yeah, it's still on there.
Yeah.
Well, we're not, but it's still on Netflix.
Well, interestingly enough, they talked
Did you
about
cancel
how many.
too?
I did cancel.
Yeah, I did too.
I have not missed it. But I will say they count someone as watching one of their programs if you've watched for 2 minutes. All you have to watch is 2 minutes, and they count it as a view. Mm-hmm. So they were saying, like, well, we had all these views on the film. Well, I'm sure you did, because 2 minutes in, people were so horrified and disgusted, they turned it off. Right. But they are sticking by the film. Another thing that they're about to do that has people really upset is they are going to be releasing a series on Colin Kaepernick called Colin in Black and White. So a lot of people are really upset about that and going, why would you do this on the heels of the cuties controversy? So we'll see how they fare after they air that.
Yeah, I thought you were right. Originally, you said that Netflix would ride the cuties publicity, and after a few days of the controversy, pull it.
They didn't.
I really thought they would, because there was so much pressure. And even though you'll read online, it sounds like it was just conservative groups. It wasn't. It was people from both sides of the aisle were just really, really disturbed.
So this seems like a real commitment to child porn. That's admirable, isn't it? Isn't that admirable?
Yeah.
That's
And it's nice to see that both the left and the right can still agree that child exploitation is
Thank
wrong.
you.
Right? Wow, we have one thing
We got one
left.
issue, maybe.
Well, it does show that, put your money where your mouth is, and if you don't want to support something, don't pay for it, and they will pay the price. So
I'd love to know what the exact number of lost subscriptions was. I'd love to know that number, but they don't release it, right?
Wasn't
They're
there
not going to tell
something
anybody.
that shows that they, in the previous months leading up, they had 10 million new subscribers, 15 million, and then 2 million.
It was a huge drop. Well, and what's interesting is they're trying to paint it as, look how many subscriptions we gained this year during the beginning of the pandemic, because they did gain a lot of new subscribers in the beginning.
Yeah.
But they've lost so many here at the end, and they are really trying not to focus on that.
They blew it.
Yeah. But I do have some good news.
Oh.
Also, I mean, these are both really 2 good news stories as far as exploitation and sex trafficking go.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard about this guy, Keith Raniere. He started a group called NXIVM. It started off as like a self-improvement group that a lot of Hollywood celebrities, big CEOs would go to. It was just to kind of help you clear your mind and get rid of some old hang-ups, that kind of thing. But it evolved into a sex cult.
Oh.
Where he...
How lovely.
Yeah, he was... taking these women, forcing them into sex acts with him, forced labor. He was branding them with hot pokers with his initials.
I seriously did not hear this story until the conviction came down. I'm like, what is this?
It is
How
a crazy
weird.
thing. So the New York Times is the one that actually kind of exposed that this was going on back in 2017. And he had some kind of high-profile people as part of this group. And one of his recruiters that was kind of helping bring women into this cult was a girl named Allison Mack. And she was a fairly well-known actress from the hit TV show Smallville, if you remember that. It was about Superman. But anyway, an angle of the story that you didn't hear a lot about, you heard that there were women involved in this sex cult, but one of them, maybe more, was a 15-year-old girl. When he was 45 years old, she was a Mexican national, and he forced she and her sisters into sex slavery. He had one of them locked up for 21 months, unable to leave. It's just the most bizarre story. But the good news is he was finally convicted just this week. He got 120 years in federal prison. And he'd actually been waiting for his conviction in the exact same prison that Jeffrey Epstein died in, very fittingly.
Wow.
So at
Jeez.
least...
Does he have dirt on the Clintons, this guy?
You never know. I mean, it's interesting because there were some very powerful people that were part of this group initially with the self-help angle. I don't know how many were involved in the sex cult other than Mr. Raniere and a lot of women, but he definitely has a lot of dirt on people. So many of the celebrities have distanced themselves. They've said, oh, I only went to one meeting, that kind of thing. But there were a lot of high-profile people involved with him.
How do people get away with this for so long? How does it take so long for this to come out? It's really amazing, isn't it?
I think he had one of the things that he did is he made the women that were involved in this subset of his cult give up collateral. So he made them take naked photos and have compromising videos so that he had this information on them. So if they tried to leave or report it, he would threaten to release that information.
And the name of the group was NXIVM? I mean, I take that for heartburn. What is seriously, I do. I mean, what is this?
NXIVM, yeah.
How does he get that name?
He was a self-proclaimed genius. Yeah, so he had a lot of Latin names for these different subsets of his groups. But there's 2 documentaries that are out right now about it. HBO has one called The Vow, and then Starz has one called Seduced. And so people are kind of fascinated with how he was able to get away with this because it started in the earlier mid-90s, and it's just now come to light, and he's been convicted.
So he's led a sex cult, and he's a know-it-all with the name of the group.
Yes, and I another big name too that's still awaiting trial, that girl Allison Mack that was the actress, she's still awaiting her sentencing. But the heiresses of the Seagram's fortune, I mean, they're billionaires. They were also involved, and one of them was sentenced to 7 years in prison for being involved in helping recruit other women.
See, that's so sad. It's just like with Jeffrey Epstein. It's always a woman that helps bring in victims.
Yeah.
It's just tragic, man.
Really sad.
Very bizarre. But good news that he has been sentenced to 120 years.
And no possibility of parole, or is there?
He of course, he's appealing and said he didn't get a fair shake. But I think he's going to be put away for a very long time.